Hello viewers, this is Paladin of Odin, and this is some more Magic the Gathering Online. This is another episode of the Standard Commentary series, and it looks like we've got Rakdos Aggro versus Gruul Aggro. Rakdos currently has an Inventor's Apprentice and a Key to the City, and Gruul currently has 2 Long-Tusk Cubs. Okay, Rakdos is firing off an Unlicensed Disintegration and Blossoming Defense in response, so no dead Long-Tusk Cub, and no 3 damage. Activating Key to the City to make his Apprentice unblockable. And attacking in. Now, both sides are very low on cards, so being able to possibly draw an extra card while your opponent can't is very helpful. Whoa, all-in attack from Gruul. That was 5 damage. He buffed up his other Long-Tusk Cubs, so now they're both 3/3s, and then he follows it up with a Bristling Hydra. So all of his creatures have 3 toughness, and he has 7 energy in the bank. So Rakdos is in serious trouble here. He did pay the 2 mana to draw a card. And Insolent Neonate. And making the Apprentice unblockable again. And attacking in for 2. And Gruul is going straight into his attack phase. Attacking all in. 7 energy in the bank. He could buff up his Cubs by a total of 3 times. Neonate blocks the Hydra. And in response, he sacrifices the Neonate to draw a card, discarding the Smoldering Marsh. And no pre-combat buffs, so he has 11 energy now. Another Bristling Hydra puts him up to 14 energy, and this is pretty much Rakdos' last chance. Because he has enough energy to buff up whichever creature doesn't get blocked, with enough +1/+1 counters to win. And I think Rakdos just realized that. He did pay to draw the card off a Key to the City, but then he conceded. I have to say, that was not a very good showing from Rakdos. Very steady build on Gruul's side, though, and, Blossoming Defense is a very good way of keeping your creatures alive, because for Gruul Aggro, kind of their whole thing is creatures, so if you knock out their creatures, they've got nothing to do. So when you're playing Gruul, you need things like Blossoming Defense to try and protect your creatures from, especially good destruction spells like Unlicensed Disintegration. I mean, straight up kills a creature, and then you get the bonus of damage if you have an artifact. So, let's go to game 2. Okay, first turn Insolent Neonate from Rakdos. It's not a bad start, especially when your opponent doesn't play anything. And even if he did play a creature, this thing has Menace, so it'll get through. And Scrap Heap Scrounger. Turn 2. Rakdos is doing a pretty good start here. So Neonate gets in for 1. Second turn for Gruul. And he plays Voltaic Brawler. And this is the kind of guy that you don't really want to block with. He's very good at attacking. He becomes a 4/3 trample when you spend an energy. And at the moment, that's enough to keep pace with your opponent. I mean, he is 1 point ahead, but, with a Gruul Aggro deck, you're gonna be playing more creatures, so you're most likely gonna overtake him unless he keeps playing creatures. Now, Smuggler's Copter is really good here because most likely Gruul isn't going to have a way to deal with that outside of things like Harness Lightning, maybe Galvanic Bombardment, but the first one wouldn't work, and straight up combat damage. He doesn't have ways to block that guy. Longtusk Cub. And, since you can get Scrounger back, I would attack all in here. Man up the Smuggler's Copter, attack all in. If he wants to block with the Longtusk Cub, go right ahead. Make me lose the Scrap Heap Scrounger. I don't really care, because you can get him back later. And more importantly, he effectively becomes a creature kill spell. And that's what Rakdos is doing. He mans up the Smuggler's Copter, attacks all in. And discards Alms of the Vein. So madness cost of 1 black makes your opponent lose 3 life and you gain 3 life. So that's an added effectively 3 damage. And he lost nothing. Response, Galvanic Bombardment to kill off the Scrounger. Okay, so now he has enough to be able to Galvanic Bombardment and kill a Smuggler's Copter, so he has more options to be able to kill that creature. Key to the City, second main phase, and now it's on to Gruul, who's in a pretty bad spot here. He's already down to 9, but he does have a wide open field here. Three mana. Lathnu Hellion. Wow, this is going to be a very aggressive turn. 4 energy in the bank, though. Not as much as he'd hoped for. Attacking all out. Spends an energy to buff up the Voltaic Brawler. And that is a 10 damage swing. He gets 2 energy off of the Longtusk Cub. He spends 2 energy to keep the Hellion alive. And he's still got 3 energy in the bank. And as long as he doesn't lose too much more energy, this combination of Longtusk Cub and Lathnu Hellion allows him to keep the Hellion on for almost as long as he wants to. Okay, manning up the Smuggler's Copter and attacking in for 3. And theoretically, he could win here quite easily with Fiery Temper, Alms of the Vein, 1 of each or 2 of one of them. It doesn't really matter. But Alms of the Vein, first off, hits him for 3 with a Smuggler's Copter, and Unlicensed Disintegration gets him in the extra 3 damage. That was actually really close. He was really low on cards, and 2 cards in hand, and he had to have something that dealt 3 damage to the face. Another Alms of the Vein would have been pretty unlikely since he used 2 already. Fiery Temper would have been more likely since there's still 4 in his deck. Unlicensed Disintegration, great play since he had 2 artifacts in play, so, he very easily met that requirement. And unfortunately, these matches went pretty fast, but then again, that's because they're both aggro decks. That's what they do. They try and make the games fast. So this video is going to be a little shorter than normal, so I'm going to end it here. That was Rakdos aggro versus Gruul aggro, and if you liked what you saw, hit that like and subscribe button for me, and I will see you in the next video.